For the second week of VCT Americas, we had some great matches coupled with some unfortunate performances from some of our fan favorites. So let's jump right into the match recap. If you want a brief overview of what the VCT Americas League is and the teams competing, check out my week 1 video right here. In the first match of the weekend, it was my personal favorite match of the week in Cloud9 versus Loud. Going into the match, I think the general consensus was that Loud would clear Cloud9, as Loud has been showing an impressive amount of consistency going into the VCT regular season. On the other hand, Cloud9 had recently gone through roster changes in their Rooney and Jake adding on to replace Ye and Vanity. That all being said though, Cloud9 had shown an impressive amount of composure and individual performances from their new players in their match against Evil Geniuses last week. Throw all of that out the window as Cloud9 got onto a heated start on the first map of Split, taking the map off of the back of some impressive performances from their 2 new players and Leaf just doing Leaf things.
Both the star players of Leaf and Zeppa protecting each other, advancing on the other. As it turns it over, Aspas has to go for a clutch now. Flash available, not needed, Leaf comes out.
On the other side of the map, Loud players Toys and Kawazine put up in a impressively resilient fight, but ultimately could not bring up enough rounds for their team.
Both teams, a 3 versus 3, as the spike is not planted really for C9, so they just have to win their duels.
1 enemy remaining.
Flanker doesn't work, Jake on his own. Up to halfway, as now he has to move forward. Cannot get the kill onto Thieves.
On Ascent, we saw a whole different story though, as Loud seemed to have the upper hand on Cloud9 all across the board.
Few are in the site, and it's going to have to be Leaf again, causing that chaos to start it off. Vancillion, the retake is on.
Talk about that sheriff in the back. That's Aspas at both house. Underhand flash, full blinded into the site, but the cavalry is here for a bit. Aspas still holding in the back of the site, a 2 versus 2. A timing to come in. And it's up to Thieves now. One-way smoke that he threw in the beginning is now encumbersome for himself. As we're sticking on to the fuse, only 1 more to go, 17 HP, a fake TP, and Zelsis has to stick onto the plant, and he gets the shot! The Red Bull clutch!
Individually, all players on both squads looked amazing, which made for a great map, but Loud altogether had more clutches and just better team play to bring the map in their favor.
Defense, Aspas trying to gain space on the top and does get the kill through the smoke, so that's the operator down. Hunter's Fury available, so we have to fight quick for C9, but Aspas still fights in.
Zeppa
then close for 2 of his own, looking for that 3rd one, but it's still a trade-off on different parts around that site. Kawazine stuck on a 2 versus 1.
Oh no.
Low HP Zelsis stopped.
No, they won't.
Flicks back towards heaven, and he's running away. The timing that he has on his Hunter's Fury. And it's up to Rooney.
They both have it.
Tap onto the spike. There's that Hunter's Fury.
Shoot it back.
And he fights back. It's a Legolas battle. And now back on a tap onto the spike, the jump spot, and it's gonna be Kawazine that wins it.
Although we saw Loud's Opper and star player Aspas have a consistently good showing on the previous 2 maps, it was on Lotus that there was absolutely nothing getting past this guy.
Bang, flash, now hit, Zeppa stops him, and player advantage out for C9. Plat now coming down, Trailblazer, Zeppa doing everything, grabbing all that information, and allowing this 2v2 to happen. But then Aspas answers back with a Blade Storm. Oh my god, up dress, lands one into the face of Zelsis.
I think Loud through this series is showing why they are a top 3 contender for best team in the world, and if they can keep this kind of consistency up going into the 2 international tournaments later this year, it will be really exciting to see how they stack up against Pacific and EMEA's best teams. Conversely, I don't think Cloud9 performed that badly at all against Loud, and their first week win against EG shows that this roster has a lot of potential to go pretty far. I am particularly excited to see where the 2 newcomers, Jake and Rooney, end up going throughout the rest of the league, as we hadn't really seen them in the contending teams going up to franchise, so seeing them perform in franchise has been very exciting.
On their own flashes, dropping from B Heaven. Zeppa on the first blood, but gets quickly traded out by Kawazine. All 4 players of Loud still stuck towards the top. As Rooney fights from the middle. Make that even 3 for him. And that's a lockdown and a shutdown.
In the second match of the day, we had a banger South American showdown between Leviatan and FURIA. 2 teams that individually looked phenomenal off of their first week matches. FURIA players Digizine? I have to go. Digizine, Khalil, and MW Zera heading into the Americas League with a lot of hype off of their back, and conversely on Leviatan's side with their star player King. As the match started off, we saw an explosive kickoff from FURIA taking a 9-3 lead on Pearl, both teams showing off a great read of the meta with their Harbor Viper double controller comp, which a few teams in the league have seemed to not adapt to right away.
King's already got it to half, and he should be able to take it the whole way. I don't know that Khalil has it. No, he stopped it. The time is not great. He's got it, and he's got it, and Khalil gets 4.
However, Leviatan put off an amazing comeback on the T side of the map, winning 10 rounds purely off of just killing everyone on FURIA, which is very interesting.
Factor, and neither is Mazine. Mazino is just at the right place at the right time. This looks almost impossible for FURIA.
And they got a one-way orb landing too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. There's just no way.
Attackers win.
Unfortunately, the steam seemed to have worn off in the second and third map as FURIA took a convincing 13-5 victory on Icebox, diffing Leviatan on pretty much every aspect of the game.
That's wild. That's insane. Khalil, too crispy, wants the third just around the corner, and he falls too.
I'm sorry? I'm sorry, what?
Wait, this is insane. They dropped the res, they dropped the pit, and they dropped lockdown.
Last player standing.
They haven't gotten the spike down yet.
10 seconds left.
He can't break it with the... Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Spike planted.
Scary for a second. Taco going quick.
And then instantly putting the brakes on it and falls at the worst pop.
Map 3 of Ascent was much closer, but no different, as Leviatan took a 9-3 lead on the CT side.
Meanwhile, they have got their duelists in their spawn.
Shy's not cleared. Oh,
Patient.
no.
He's patient. 1, 2, yeah, the transfer's clean. The third.
But again lost composure and lost 13-10 to FURIA's coordinated CT play.
Spike planted.
Managing to avoid all of the utility, managing to avoid all of the damages. QCK has arrived. And now Nowser's left alone in this 1v2. Playing inside the lockdown, doesn't have a choice, has to swing it.
He's going to go with the drone.
Of course, he goes aggressive, and he's rewarded for it. What do Leviatan have left? They don't have Mazino either.
Remaining.
On the second day of the weekend, we had another NA banger at NRG versus Sentinels, with some added spice from FNS and Sentinel 6-man Marved, with some beef on Twitter. Unfortunately, the games did not live up to the hype that we had seen on social media, with NRG showing a clear upper hand on Sentinels on this day. Notably, Sentinels star player Tens had a particularly rough series.
And 2 rifles still in play for the attacking side.
Those artist slows are so good. Continuously, they're trying to fight within them, but no room to actually move.
There's one. They're doing it. They're keeping it competitive. 2v2.
One enemy remaining.
And it's just a share for Tens. Is this another Tens moment in the books? He's gotten it down to 1. Victor up top. The swing is there, and the shot is 2 from Tens.
The first match of Lotus that was picked by Sentinels admittedly had some good strategic play.
Creeping back towards A. Now they know that the hit's on C, and it may be okay because Sentinels are holding them back anyway.
Blocking sight. I got the spike.
And they didn't even get in 20 seconds, yeah. They're going to pivot to B. They're definitely making an attempt at this. It's Def to respond. 12 seconds.
Victor weak. Artist close by, and he's the first to fall, yeah. Very well played by Sentinels.
But NRG players Som and FNS just completely diffed everything that Sen was trying to do and had a more convincing read, which gave them a 13-10 victory on the map.
Forcing a reposition.
Spike
Tens
planted.
with the option. He got by, but does he aware? Does he know? The swing timing is just too good as Victor gets a second. 3v3 on for the side here for Nestin. That was so close. I mean, can Sentinels get in here? It's another late round situation that's now 2v2.
Vanessa lets Sassy in way too deep there. You got to kill, and Victor's trying to play the time. Cove's going up. They have nobody to spam this right now.
This is going to be close. They're going to be able to steal this. They got it to half. They're just going to spam their way through. Huge out from Finesse. Can he get the 1v1? Jeff on the tap, on the hold, but Finesse.
On to the final map of Icebox, we had a complete wash with NRG taking the map 13-2 with 10-2 in the first half.
An advantage here for Sentinels.
And a key one too. It's not just the numbers, but think about how good Crashies has been at anchoring sites in these last couple of rounds. Not a factor here.
I'm wondering if they get the right read right now. It's the kitchen pressure that actually ultimately, that duel in mid. ends up giving them. How does Victor find it?
I don't know, man. They were in trouble. It was a 4v2 essentially as they were starting to surround him.
They know there's more. Sam puts down the pit as well. They can now tuck inside.
He can make such a big play here. I don't know that he's expecting a second. Now his position given away.
Not the. Eventually they're gonna find the spam here. Oh!
There it is.
He can give this up now. His teammates here. Look, Finesse is on the flank. He's all the way up on the flank. That turret's
One
nearsighted.
enemy
13
remaining.
seconds left. What can you do?
10 seconds left.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
And just completely sweeping the last 3 rounds.
Once again, he's going to find value from back yellow. He spots another. He's gotten 3, not able to get the 4th, but I mean, at this point, it's done.
Oh, almost tagged Saucy too.
With a clear rivalry between these two organizations that has formed since 2021, back when NRG's roster was playing under the NV banner, it will be really interesting to see how these teams face off against each other and evolve throughout the rest of the season. And hopefully Sentinels can regroup and put up a better fight in the rematch between these two teams. The final match of the second day between KRU and MIBR didn't initially appear to be as hype of a matchup as the other games that we had planned for this week, as KRU looked pretty scattered in their first week match against FURIA. However, these two teams provided probably the most exciting match of the week, with all 3 maps being relatively close and a lot of back and forth on the halves.
Fans paranoia and even a recon there. It's a nice combo. As KRU's moving in for a hold, GZZ enters back with a frenzy. Slowly but surely, all of KRU is falling down. Only 1 to go. And it's JZZ stepping up to the plate for this pistol round for MIBR.
On the first map of Ascent, KRU made a great comeback, taking an 8-round shutout in the second half off of their newcomer Davies, making some great individual plays. FRZ getting way more than 2 kills this week.
Also just separating the map completely. Everybody in B is in prison right now.
Paranoia out towards Generator, though. Heat's trying to dash in.
seconds
Melzer, a great spot. Usually a great anchor player towards Dice. Gets a transfer on the second kill. JCZ, though, answers back. Davey for the rescue. For the support in the end.
To match them, however, MIBR made a similar comeback on map 2 of Lotus with an 8-round shutout on the second half T side. Players JZZ and Heat creating a lot of space for their team to take crucial map control.
We made it across. We avoided the alarm, but as it got disactivated, so that's probably the opportunity for Heat to get that kill. Pain Shell to try to land onto the lockdown.
The last map of Pearl had KRU start on an aggressive 4-round win, MIBR bouncing back on a 7-round consecutive shutout to close the half out.
They're into the B side, this time behind Utility. No! Kesnet gets a double kill! Slither across towards the spawn. Kesnet launching it with the operator. Meanwhile, though, on the A side, it's a solo hold from
30
Melzer.
seconds left.
High Tide then coming out, should I say Cascade coming out. The flash fully blending GZZ, but it allows the trade to happen. 20 seconds left on the clock. And as Maurice made it through, gets all 3! Under rotation, a 2 versus 1! And Maurice somehow comes in clutch!
The back half of the map ended up being a consistent back and forth, but KRU was able to climb back from an 8-12 deficit to bring the map to OT. All of this effort just to get shut out in OT and lose the 2 rounds to MIBR in a banger 2-1 fashion.
10 seconds left. We haven't plotted yet, but MIBR still gets a couple of kills. Davey fights back. Somehow there's 7 seconds left, and we haven't got the plant.
Plant time, there's time.
Running in! Oh, the offshot missed.
They got it.
Kessin now looking for a play.
Planted.
A 2 versus 1. He only has the op in a Blade Storm. Now he gets activated as he gets a 4K to the round, and MIBR are back in the lead.
With all of the NA teams playing each other within the first few weeks, it was really exciting to see how they would rank and stack up against each other, bringing us to our last match of the week in EG versus 100 Thieves. This match was particularly exciting to me as both teams retained their core rosters going into the franchise league, and seeing them face off against each other in the franchise league would be a good way to gauge the consistency and the performance of these players now that they've kind of made the big leagues, so to say. However, after the first map of Haven, it looked pretty clear that 100 Thieves had an upper hand on the Evil Geniuses team.
The wall bangs are coming through, and it's Joggmo to land that shot. Ethan for the support from behind, and we're dancing around the site, but it's still gonna be 100 Thieves taking over it.
Tom?
2 versus 1, hit by the alarm bot. Recon to come through, the swing out on the platform, a dink! Bang was low HP, but still wins.
The entire roster of 100 Thieves looked better practiced, put together, and ready for anything that EG could throw at them.
100 Thieves. They want to be able to leave B open if possible and focus the sites together. Cryo starts it with 1.
In that cloudburst, taken advantage by Cryo. The push in from Bang to try to support, but it's still Ethan opening it up. Mosh pit to split the attack. Cryo long range in the back of the site.
Spike down, C.
And in the blink of an eye, it's a 3 versus 1. Com stuck now towards that C. Com with Cryo waiting there with that operator.
Ending the map 13-9 with a solid performance on the back half. After the defeat, EG made this is so hard to say. After the defeat, EG made a surprise substitution of one of their most consistent players, BCJ, to bring on their 6th man who had never been seen on stage before, Demon1. And low-key, man, he kind of went crazy for like the first 5 rounds, and then they lost.
For the lockdown potentially.
There's the play.
A flash for Demon to peek out and dashes away as it gets the opener there onto Cryo. So that forces out a much earlier lockdown than anticipated. 400 Thieves not committed into it yet. Look at him, just staying inside of it, dashing away, gets detained, but at least his teammates are there.
Doesn't matter.
That's 2 instantly popped down. Reckoning to come out on the defense, courtesy of Giacomo. As Demon just got spotted trying to run through the smoke. As Bang gets hit by that, Demon finally gets the revenge back into the up.
Despite Demon1 kind of cooking 100 Thieves in the first 5 rounds, 100 T showed again why they had a much better read on EG as a roster than vice versa. Taking a 13-5 victory on Icebox with 100 T Bang, showing again why he's probably one of the best controllers in the Americas region and probably the best NA young prospect to come out of early Valorant.
100 Thieves are now trying to move into the site. It's a 4 versus 2.
Bang.
Demon looking to answer back onto a 3rd into this round. As now Bang. Oh, looking for the transfer. And he's going to get it.
Yeah.
The Red Bull.
And that being said, that is all of the matches of VCT Americas Week 2 reviewed and recapped. In about 3 days, we have another NA showdown in Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves, and the first time that South American and North American teams will play against each other in Sentinels versus Leviatan and NRG versus MIBR. So tune into those because I think those will be really exciting to watch. That being said, please hit the follow and like button if you enjoy the content, and tune in next week as I will be here recapping the same games like I always do because I have no content ideas. Okay, see ya. Goodbye. Peace. I'm so tired.